Hey everybody, today is August 6th and that is the Feast of the Transfiguration in our church calendar year. I think all of us on some level or another, we deal with different thoughts that are in our heads that sometimes are just false, or they're lies, they're beliefs about the world or about myself or about others. That maybe I'm always going to be incompetent, or people are always going to leave me, or this person is out to get me. And sometimes in our lives we can have moments where God really breaks in and he speaks the truth into our lives, and he can tell us that no, this is not the case. Or especially telling us the truth about ourselves and about him, like that you're beloved child of God and that God is a loving and good father. A lot of times those sorts of experiences in my experience have been in retreats or in moments where I just feel very connected to God and others. But what happens is, because we're human beings, when we go back to whatever normal life we might say is and we forget what the truth is. We forget the truths that God has told us. We forget that really God has everything in his hands, and that these things that I might believe are not necessarily true. It's just hard not to believe them. Today on the Feast of the Transfiguration, Jesus takes those three disciples, Peter, James, and John, up the mountain with him, and he's transfigured before them. Why? It's to show them what the real truth is about who he is and about who they are. That Jesus is truly divine. He's shown in all of his glory in this beautiful masterpiece of white clothing. He's seen speaking with Moses and Elijah, and you hear the voice of the Lord God, the Father, who speaks words of love over his Son. For them, this is supposed to be a moment to say, this is who Jesus is. And you get to be a part of it as well. That this is your destiny as human beings, as disciples of the Lord. And the reason why then is that they go on and they're tempted to believe their old ideas. They're tempted to go back to this place to say that I'm not good enough. Think of Peter when he denies the Lord 3 times. He's afraid. He doesn't think that this is going to work out. He forgets who Jesus is. He forgets what he's seen on the mountain. For James and John, for James, he goes and he leaves Jesus. John is the only one who stays. And so with the Transfiguration today, we are called to continually remember this moment, this scene, that Jesus is shown in all of his glory, because he is fully God. He is able to save us, but also fully human. Through his transfiguration, through his death and resurrection, we too are offered a share of that inheritance that will be fulfilled in heaven. So let us not today grow tired or in despair, but rather look to the source of our hope, who is always Jesus, and let him speak the truth into our hearts, the truth that you are beloved and that we have an inheritance with Jesus, with the Father in heaven.